Thank you very much for joining me on this interview today. Please, just first of all, give us a bit of a headline. What's some of the biggest kind of improvements that you've seen over the past few weeks whilst you've been working with AVN?
Well, I think certainly the biggest thing I've had was dealing with some of my problem clients that Emma has helped me with. In terms of recoveries, I've managed to sort out my two worst recovering clients. One has got themselves a bookkeeper in house, which will save me £2,000 to £3,000 a year in time costs in preparing their accounts. And the other one has agreed a fee increase of 3,000. So those two quite big things for my business. The other thing I would say would be in terms of my stress levels have reduced substantially by getting some good guidance from Emma. I've made some good decisions, which has again saved me probably about £4,500 on another office and dropping a piece of software. So these are sort of decisions that when I work on my own, I wasn't sure what to do. It's something I've always done. But by changing that, immediately it's improved my decision making and reduced my stress levels, which is good.
Yeah.
So far, I've seen a 20% increase in my fees for the coming year.
Well, that's excellent. That sounds absolutely terrific. So, Stephen, first of all, why don't you just introduce yourself? Tell us a little bit about who you are, where your practice is, etc. How long you've been running?
Hi. Right. Well, my name's Stephen Arnold. I'm background is mainly as recent background as a financial controller, helping businesses grow reasonably successfully, smaller businesses growing, and I had a background as an auditor and in practice. So now I run my own practice with a small team of 3 staff. And I thoroughly enjoy the management accounting meeting clients, doing the money management accounting meetings, and helping them learn and analyze their businesses on a monthly basis to help them grow successfully. So I do that in novel of introducing annual budgets, doing monthly management accounts, and some doing quarterly meetings or monthly meetings, depending on the requirements. Just enjoy being there as a member of their team to help them grow. And through recommendations, I have grown my business. It's quadrupled in size in the last 4 years. It's still very small, but it's from recommendations, I've now got over 50 clients, starting from 2 about 5 years ago.
Excellent. Well done. Fantastic stuff and good growth, actually. I think many people would be very envious of that level of growth. So well done. What made you start your practice in the first place?
Well, I'd originally decided that at one point as a financial controller, I was working for one business, and I got a little frustrated with their lack of interest in developing the human resource side or looking after the staff. And basically, I decided that I was interested in teaching, and also on the other side, I was also interested in helping businesses that were going to listen to some of my advice. So I'd help them grow their business from 6 to 14 branches over 9 years as a financial controller. But I really felt that I was getting frustrated in my role, and with the fact that they wouldn't invest into software and the staff, I decided to move on. I retrained as a teacher and set up a part-time practice. Yes, I suppose post-COVID, where my teaching income dropped, I decided that actually nurturing and helping businesses grow would be a good way to use my skill set and something I'd enjoy doing. And it's so from 4 years ago, I couldn't realistically have hoped to have been where I was now, and but I've just got lost on where to go next, and that's something that you've been helping me with.
So just tell me a little bit about that then. Obviously something must have made you decide to embark on our help. You've just said maybe you felt a bit lost. Just expand on that a little bit. What does that look like, so that maybe somebody else is watching this to think, do you know what, I'm in exactly that position right now?
Well, I suppose the biggest part was I'd managed to grow my business in the 2024. I got my turnover up by 25%, but I'd only actually increased my profit had gone down, and I'd only taken about a 10% increase in salary. So and I was working longer hours. So obviously something needed to change, and I wasn't quite sure where to go, because what I'd done was just looking after clients. I got recommendations, and I moved on, and I hadn't really had to look at the marketing aspect, because nearly 99% of my clients have come from recommendations. And obviously then I'd had one or two problem clients I'd identified, but I wasn't sure how to move it forward. And what worried me was continue to grow the business without making any more money and increasing my stress levels. So I really was lost on where to go, working as a sole trader. On that side.
Yeah, okay. So obviously you made the decision to join AVN. Had you looked at other places at all for help?
I haven't really. I have professional cover with the top 15 firms. So I had them to talk to if I got stuck, particularly on mutual clients. But I know I hadn't really looked elsewhere. And it was when my professional cover changed, I felt that I needed to move on. And there was a change in basically the senior partner at the practice that was my professional cover retired, and therefore I felt a little bit more alone, because the new partner that came in hadn't known me for 20 years. I'd worked for two of their audit clients before. So this was something so basically felt a little bit more exposed than I was.
Okay, understood. Thank you. So, and again, I suppose you came on board with AVN. What kind of decision was that for you? Was it a tough decision? Did it feel like a no-brainer? Just share a little bit about the thought process. Were there concerns that you had about joining?
Well, I suppose the biggest concern was really the extra cost initially, because although I realised I needed to do something different, the cost for a small business was quite a lot, as I perceived it, in terms of my turnover, smaller turnover. But already within the first month, troubleshooting, helping the clients, after 3 months, I definitely know I've made the right decision, and I'm comfortable and looking forward to the journey. I've seen some insights of how I can move forward, and looking forward to the year ahead.
That sounds fantastic. So in terms of implementing some of the recommendations that would have given you through your practice growth expert, Emma, did you face any kind of emotional or actual challenges in terms of implementing any of those strategies?
I think it was just I had to go for it, whereas I don't like confrontation. So there was a certain level of anxiety, but I had confidence in what Emma had advised me. And once I dealt with my hardest client first, where I initially resigned, and then she phoned me back and pleaded to stay with me, and what I needed to do, then it gave me confidence actually something can happen, because that was probably the hardest client I had. And once I knew that, it gave me confidence to go forward. As I say, I had already identified a lot of time I'd spent on 3 clients that I hadn't been able to charge for last year, which was a good chunk of my increase turnover, but not for my personal income. And I've already dealt with those 3 now. So, yes.
Good stuff. Okay, so how would you rate your experience with AVN so far?
Absolutely excellent. I think my one thing is I have to create more time to spend developing the strategies, and I know that is something I will have to create into my. But yes, I wouldn't hesitate to recommend AVN to other accountants, and I know I've made the right choice for my side.
Wonderful. So what kind of improvements are you looking to make over the coming, well, this year, the coming 12 months?
Well, primarily, I suppose, is getting my work lifestyle balance improved. So we've set targets so that I'm going to have proper holidays, reduce my hours down to 35 from 40, probably 45. That is a major target, and I'm already seeing an uplift in turnover. And by increasing the charge out rates, although still fair, it means that I can at least recover. So that my next thing will be taking someone else on to help me move forward. But yeah.
Sounds good. Sounds exciting times. Brilliant. So is there anything else that you'd like to add that maybe I've not asked you about at all?
Yes, I think when you work as a sole practitioner, and you're on your own, sometimes you don't know whether to. You have an idea, but if you don't have someone to run it past first, maybe it just stays there. So there's 1 or 2 ideas that I've had with clients and with my practice, and I've asked Emma for guidance, and I found that invaluable. So it's actually having someone on your side makes a massive amount of difference, and improves my quality of life away from here, because I can switch off better when I'm at home with my wife. So outside of that of work is basically the quality of life at home has improved.
That's absolutely brilliant. Lovely to hear. Stephen, I just want to say thank you very much for sharing today. It's been really, really inspiring to hear some of the stuff that you've been doing, and the fact that you're on this really exciting journey is amazing. So thank you very much for sharing with us, and yeah, all the best to you.
Cheers. Thank you very much, Lucas. Cheers. Bye.